Britain's Prime Minister Boris Johnson has accused some MPs and the European Union of collaborating to block Brexit. He was speaking after one of his colleagues, the former Chancellor of the Exchequer, Philip Hammond, accused the Johnson government of trying to wreck the chances of a Brexit deal with the EU. Let's have a listen of some of what Mr Hammond had to say.
Well, leaving the EU without a deal would be just as much a betrayal of the referendum result as not leaving at all. The British people were offered a proposition that we could leave the European Union while having a close relationship. They were told it would be the easiest deal ever done. And all the evidence points to people wanting to maintain a close trading relationship with the EU to protect British jobs and British prosperity and minimise disruption in the future. To set the bar for negotiations so high that we inevitably leave without a deal would be a betrayal. And the Prime Minister said he would get a deal, and we want to see him deliver that deal.
That word betrayal is quite strong. Well, the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has also chosen interesting words in speaking about this matter. He says there is a collaboration going on of people who think they can block Brexit in Parliament and the EU.
There's a terrible kind of collaboration, as it were, going on between people who think they can block Brexit in Parliament and our European friends. And our European friends are not moving in their opposition to, in their willingness to compromise. They're not compromising at all on the withdrawal agreement, even though it's been thrown out 3 times. They're sticking with every letter, every comma of the withdrawal agreement, including the backstop, because they still think that Brexit can be blocked in Parliament. And so the awful thing is that the longer that goes on, the more likely it is, of course, that we will be forced to leave with a no-deal Brexit. That's not what I want, it's not what we're aiming for, but we need our European friends to compromise.
Well, joining me to discuss this is our political correspondent, Rob Watson. Rob, good to see you. That word.
I mean, it's just extraordinary stuff. I guess the way you'd sum it up is that incredibly brief ceasefire, how long is it now? 3 weeks in Britain's governing Conservative Party over Brexit since it chose Boris Johnson as leader and, of course, Prime Minister. I mean, boy, is that truce over. The civil war is back with a vengeance, because this is extraordinary stuff. I mean, essentially, you've got Philip Hammond accusing Boris Johnson and other leading Leave campaigners essentially of lying during the 2016 referendum, saying, getting a deal, it's all going to be easy, it's fine. And Boris Johnson, now that word, collaborators, collaborating with Europe. I mean, he knows what he's doing. I mean, that's strong, strong stuff.
And Boris Johnson is also, I suppose, accusing Philip Hammond and other pro-Europeans of wrecking his negotiating strategy.
Yes, I mean, and you heard what his argument is, but of course the counter-argument from Philip Hammond is, look, you know, I voted for a deal to leave the European Union, the one that Theresa May negotiated, and you guys, you know that the European Union can't give these concessions, so you're actually, what you really want is a no-deal Brexit.
Can Parliament stop a no-deal Brexit?
It is the biggest question in British politics. I mean, I guess the first one is Boris Johnson really serious about a no-deal departure if need be?
Him at his word.
Yeah, and I guess it's looking like he is. So then we get on to your question. I mean, is it possible? I mean, I guess that the answer is yes. Will it be easy? Absolutely not, because that idea of politicians working across party divisions, I mean, it's incredibly hard in Britain, and it's complicated by the fact that the leader of the opposition, Jeremy Corbyn, is toxic to many Conservative MPs who are pro-European.
And the Labour Party leadership is saying, look, if Boris Johnson goes, it has to be Mr Corbyn in number 10.
Absolutely. I was about to say the other complication, apart from Mr Corbyn's personality and, you know, the views about him inside and outside the Labour Party, is that those who are against a no-deal Brexit, that they're not sort of united. I mean, some of them would like to see another referendum, some would like to see a general election, some, like Mr Hammond, would actually like to see Britain leave the European Union with a deal. I mean, it's going to be immensely hard.
And just very briefly, as we stand, Parliament comes back?
Parliament comes back on, let me sort of check my diary, it's the 3rd.
Yeah, the 3rd of September. Yeah. And that leaves us, what, 6 or 7 weeks?
The last time I looked, it was about 80 days. So
right.
It's really, look, it's October the 1st.
Very little time for a new deal, that's for sure.
I think that has to be the least likely outcome. It's worth remembering the only other way to stop a no-deal Brexit is a deal, revoke Article 50, or guess what? Ask for a delay.
We'll be talking a lot over the next couple of months. Rob, thank you very much.